and welcome to episode 42 of Things We Play. It is Monday the 5th of November, officially bonfire night, Joe.
Great.
That's Joe Tanetta. We've also got Sean Hart.
Hi.
Bonfire night, Sean.
Yeah, I'm not big on fireworks.
Whiz bang, whiz bang.
I'm not big on fireworks.
I'm not, I hate fireworks.
Oh, my dog is terrified of fireworks.
Fireworks are, do you know why I hate fireworks?
Why?
Just honest, this is quite serious. Because I've seen them. Because I've seen them. That's the thing. If anyone goes like, do you want to go and see some fire? No, I've seen them. They don't do anything else. I've seen like unless your question goes, do you want to go and see some fireworks that cost $4.5 billion? I'm not interested. I've seen them.
Yeah, I think that's relatively
Oh, the
fair.
red one. They've got the red one.
Oh, they got the one that's a big bang.
I love that one.
Yeah.
If you're really lucky, occasionally you get one in the shape of a heart, but even that's not special anymore.
It's
you
the
know?
deep bang is the one that I hate the most.
I've always hated them because A, I've seen them. B, like it's cold. It's always cold. C, they're not in. They're out of sync with the sound.
Yeah.
It always seems a bit shoddy to me. You know, like I'm seeing them and hearing the bang.
Someone needs to pause it and then unpause it.
Yeah, if someone could sort that out.
Get the sync back.
They're always synced to terrible music. You know, either trance or like classical music. And I've heard it 1,000 times. I was like, oh, great, the William Tell overture, brilliant. I wonder when this is going to peak. You know, like I know what's happening, and then the blue one, the green one, the red one. That's it. They need more colours. Wouldn't mind more colours.
I think it's just that I'm old and I hate loud noises.
They're terrible.
I've just never been able to escape them. They just play a little bit down from where I live, and just all the time you can hear them.
It's like going outside to listen to thunder.
I thought about it a lot this week with it all coming up, and just thought these should be cooler, right? Because it's essentially controlled explosives.
Right.
Explosives, really cool. So if someone was just throwing hand grenades into the air, right, just randomly, like 6 or 7 hand grenades up and they're just blowing up, same explosion every time, you've seen them, that's always going to be cool, right?
But at the same time, you haven't actually experienced that.
No, that's true.
So that once you've done
If
it,
every year we went and saw Barry the grenade thrower, he'd be like, "Oh,
imagine he's
again."
a grenadier.
Like it's like
he's practicing this shit.
It's like this sucks. You know, I've seen that one. The sound's out of sync.
Maybe
it's
alternate
cold.
it every year.
It's
so
cold.
like Barry one year and then fireworks the other.
I guess. I just think they're a waste. They're expensive now.
Yeah.
You know, and the best thing about fireworks is when we were kids is what I used to muck around with them a lot because explosives are cool, right? So you just sellotape other fireworks to fireworks, making what we like to call random death rockets because they just go up. I just remember this one we fired off in my mate's back garden and it just went straight up, did an immediate right turn and came straight back down and then just came towards us. And you're like, you don't get that level of excitement, you know, sitting on the beach watching some watching the red ones and the green ones.
Yeah,
exactly.
no, sure.
So fireworks suck. And sparklers, which is the other thing you associate with bonfire night, I guess, are lethal. Like I never really liked them much as a kid because again, they don't do much. Like what? I've got to do it. Like really? Like this whole thing is based around me waving my arm. This is freeloaded on me. And then also that terrifying advert. Do you remember that terrifying advert?
Oh yeah.
With the girl with the glove. Horrific.
We
and
used to,
so
I don't know. When I was a kid, we used to do shit like throw them, then go in the dark, go and find them and pick them up again, and then throw them again.
that's mental.
It's kind of exciting because it's like sparkler roulette. Is it
Yeah,
the
yeah.
hot end? Is it the hot end? I don't know. I want to throw it again.
They're just lethal. My only understanding of them as a kid was that because of that advert was that it totally worked. Was that these things were hotter than the sun. You know, that's all I knew. I never got burned by one ever. No. But just that message, that girl's face, the scream, everything. These things are like molten lava in your hand. So I mean, just take like fear on bonfire night is a good thing.
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
And escalators, kids should have fear of escalators as well.
Yeah, escalators, the deadliest game. Deadliest game. I should probably explain as well. I'm Mike Goldman, by the way. We've got that off the top of the show. So it's bonfire night. We've established that. We've had Halloween last week. We survived that, which was really good. You were on a boat, Joe. It was quite impressive. And this is it's a bit of a weird episode tonight because Halo 4 comes out tomorrow.
Well, tonight.
Yeah. So we are going down to the local shop to the Midlight launch to pick that up and then play through the night. Play through tomorrow. At some point, I will take a break.
I'm
and
gonna
upload
need
the
to sleep
podcast
because I'm gonna have to take my daughter to school in the morning.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, I mean, she's old enough. She can.
She can manage. Right?
Point her in a direction, go. Somewhere there.
I have
somewhere.
taught her out to crossroads.
Yeah. And then we got the added bonus as well with Ella is that she likes school.
Yeah.
So she kind of wants to get there.
Yeah.
So she should put the effort in to
Maybe.
get there. I don't think if you just went, right, off you go, that she's going to go straight down the arcades.
Yeah, I don't know if she's big on arcades. She'd go just to the park, I think.
Right, okay. All
And
right.
spend the whole day on the roundabout.
Well, exactly. I was thinking about this as well because I took my daughter out of the weekend. And I was thinking about it today. We went to like a little indoor play centre, which it's not great. It's called Tumble in the Jungle.
Right.
And but it's just got like a big like climbing frame thing and then like a slide.
Yeah.
A big slide, big blue slide for slightly older children, I think, really. And we were in there for about 3 hours. And she just went on the slide over and over again. Like, it wasn't until I dawned, like, the only time she stopped going this same route through this obstacle course, of which there are many routes.
Sure.
She would take one route, the shortest one, up to the slide, down the slide, down the slide, down the slide. And the only time she stopped was when we had lunch.
Right.
And then straight back on the slide. And I just thought, it was hours. It was hours of just going down a slide over and over again. Kids are mental.
Yeah, they are. They like repetitive patterns, though. Don't they?
Yeah, I guess so. But it's just like a slide.
So the local park here has just had 2 things added, which is a roundabout and a set of swings. Before it was just like a rope
Well, it was
swing.
chaos before because all the cars were just the junction would never go anywhere.
Right.
So they had to add the roundabout just to get people through.
And since those 2 things have been added, Ella now just stays down that end. She used to play in the entire park before. Now she just stays down that end. And today was in the park 40 minutes maybe. And
Spinning.
She spent 36 minutes on the roundabout.
Just going round and round. See,
And
it's cool.
complaining about kids getting on and off constantly. She's just like...
Like she was a train conductor. Like, I can't keep stopping
That's
to
what
pick
I
you
said to
people
her.
up.
That's what I said to her. Imagine it's a train. They're getting off of the platforms. She's just like going mental.
That's the best thing ever. Best game you can have on a roundabout is pretend you're on a train. It's brilliant. Oh, that is absolute genius. All right, yeah, cool. So, I mean, like I say, Halloween was there. It was kind of nuts. We said, you guys trick-or-treated me.
Yeah.
She didn't like, and by you guys, I don't mean you and Joe. I don't know if Joe. I don't know where you did your trick-or-treating, Joe, but I'm guessing you did a lot of it.
I didn't do any.
His road.
Didn't do any.
So yeah, Ella and chums turned up
Yeah.
on my doorstep. Terrifying. I gave them, Joe, because I was unprepared. I was unprepared for a child invasion for Halloween, so I didn't have sweets because you don't really have sweets. I had a couple of sweets left, which I really. It pained me giving them away,
Right.
Because I was like, I kind of wanted those sweets. Like they weren't bought for Halloween. My sweets.
Yeah, she'd been prepared.
And then I had raisins because I've got so many boxes of raisins because of Ophelia that like that's what happens when you have kids. You just all of a sudden have a lot of cleaning products and raisins, and so I had loads of raisins. So I gave him raisins, and the little boy that was with her,
Yeah, Tristan.
just picked up the box of raisins and just kind of looked at her like, what is this? And it's like, well, tell you what that is. That's a free meal, man, that I'm not going to have now. Those are my raisins.
Yeah, the first thing they did when they got back to ours was empty out their bags onto the floor to count how many sweets they had and remove the boxes of raisins. So if you want those raisins back, they're sitting in my
It
cupboard.
it was the healthy option, man. I was trying to be good. They didn't know how close they were to getting an onion. That's how bad things were. I was unprepared. Be prepared for Halloween.
Yeah.
I'm never prepared. I just have a barking dog for Halloween.
Yeah, barking dog always works.
No, it doesn't. The kids still keep coming. And just wind it up more and more.
Have a sign on the outside.
No, you risk something then. If you're like, no trick-or-treaters, you're expecting at least 1 egg.
You make yourself a target.
Yeah,
is what you're saying,
And they don't just leave it nicely on the doorstep. Or anything like that. They don't just give you an egg. They put it, I don't know, through your skull in your area, Joe. So, has anyone been up to anything interesting this week?
Well, same night, Halloween, me and Danny watched Paranormal Activity.
The first one?
Yeah, you've been on about it for a while, trying to get me into that.
Yeah, I got sucked
that
in.
whole
I
sequence of
don't
films.
do horror movies at all, but I thought the Paranormal Activity movies were just interesting in the way they were shot.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in anything that costs nothing and makes millions.
Yeah,
that's quite interesting. So, one I watched number one, and one is a good one. Right, 1 and 3 are really good. 3 is the one that made me go, I like the setup and lore now of this series. Right, 2 is a bit shit, but that doesn't matter. I haven't seen 4, but. Well, yeah. What did you think of 1? 1 is quite good.
Yeah, as a concept, I think it works really well. My issue is with the 2 people it's about. Like, the dude is just such a massive dick. He deserved to die by demons.
Right, okay.
And I should point out that anyone who's not seen it, this is not ghosts. I was quite surprised because I thought it was poltergeist, and it's actually about demonic possession instead.
Yeah, exactly. And the third movie in particular, which is why I find it most interesting, goes on a sort of more cult angle
Right.
with weird groups, and it's kind of puts a lot more narrative into that section, which is why that's kind of cool. What's interesting about Paranormal Activity is I hate scary movies, and sort of just was more interested in this and challenged myself to watch it. And it's not terribly scary actually, but it's got some good effective freak out moments.
Yeah, I mean, my blood was cold the entire time I was watching. My hair was up, and
just freaky shit, right? Because when you're watching sped up nighttime footage of someone in a room, because of the way they move naturally fast, it's freaky. It's freaky, and you've got like the pause lines and stuff. It's a scary,
and the fact
is,
image. It's kind of the chick gets out of bed and just stands over the bed.
When your brain first clicks in and you're like, wow, a couple of hours have just passed, right? That's clever. So I really like that. And then
she always goes downstairs and does something nuts.
Yeah, basically. When I watched Paranormal Activity, I watched it in Italian.
Yeah.
I had an Italian version of Paranormal Activity. It was the only thing I had, and I didn't realise. And so I watched the whole movie in Italian. And it still worked. It just didn't matter what they were saying.
No, I guess not.
You know? So,
you probably draw more into it because then you don't know what a pair of dicks these two people are.
Yeah, true. Well, because they're just people, though, right? Aren't they? They're not like
but
they're not even like smooth
a-hole.
actors or actresses. They're just kind of like people.
It's done very mockumentary style. Yeah.
You'd like 3. You should watch 3.
I'll get around to it. I think I'm kind of invested. I've got two waiting in the wings. I'll do them in chronological order.
3's pretty good. Have you seen any of these, Joe?
I haven't. No.
Is there a reason for that? Are you scared?
No, I just don't want to.
I don't like ghosts, man. I don't like ghosts.
Ghosts don't bother me so much. I just hate horror films in any way.
Okay. What else?
What else? I've watched a lot of Modern Family.
You keep going on about Modern Family. I've not watched any Modern Family.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I'm invested. I'm kind of 18 episodes in or something.
Okay.
It's not bad. Again, on Netflix.
I haven't watched anything in ages. I've stopped watching things. Apart from Blimmin' Forward Unto Dawn, which I caught up to from last week.
Yeah.
Did we talk about episode 5 last week?
No, it was episode 4 last week. I have watched episode 4.
Yeah, so that's finished now, yeah? So the Halo movie, as it were. Yeah.
So you're a lot more down on it.
I went off it. Yeah, I went off it because I didn't get on with the Chief. I didn't get on with the Chief at all.
Right.
It didn't look quite right. I still feel like I've seen better cosplay suits, and that's maybe unfair. But it just something didn't feel right about it. Might have just been the new design stuff, you know, the old new design sort of thing with the 117 on him and stuff. Never liked the numbered thing.
Right.
So yeah, I didn't like him. I didn't like his voice. He was a bit too Batman-like.
Sure.
Which kind of annoyed me because it wasn't Steve Downes because he's younger, so it wasn't the same voice. And they say that actually. I was reading something online that they were saying that when they did try it with Steve Downes, but it just sounded like a dad talking to a bunch of kids.
Right.
Because that's basically what the situation is anyway. But yeah, I wasn't convinced. And none of the action scenes were that good. They were just sort of like, he's shooting a gun. Oh, look, yeah, he's walking this way. He's jumped off a ledge.
You can see that pretty much they seem to save the entire budget for that last money shot right at the end.
Yeah, so I mean, you can
hunter.
talk about it. He fights 2 hunters at the end. That's the big payoff as well. It's like, really? That's just it? He just fights 2 hunters.
Yeah.
But the first one, he kind of like, you see the hunter, you see the reflection in his visor, and you see it tower over him, don't you?
Yeah.
And that's kind of a cool moment because you're like, wow, fucking hell, hunters are big. They are like bigger than they seem to be in the game. You know, when you see it in that scale.
They are 12 feet tall.
Yeah, it's pretty big, Joe.
Yeah.
It's pretty big. And so that happens. Like you see all that, you see the "Hi, I'm a hunter" moment, and then the camera goes off with the kids because little lady's dying, bleeding from the stomach or whatever. And that's it. And then 5 minutes later, Chief just pops up. He just like walks into the scene and goes, "Hi, sorry, has anyone got any ammo?" And they're like, "No." And he's like, "I just used all my ammo on this most amazing fight that I did round the corner." And it's just like, what? Why didn't we see that? It's really forced, and it's sort of like, why are you telling me? It's like he's bragging about it. Like, you won't believe what I just did, but you didn't see it. And I'm like, I don't even think he did kill that hunter. I think it's the same one. The one at the end is just the same one. It's like, oh shit, I better do something.
And at that point, all anyone's got is a single grenade, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, where did everyone's ammo go? Where did no one? It's just one grenade is what's left between them all, which it just seems like really poor training in the first place, right? They didn't kill that many people. So yeah, I don't know. Not keen. I just went off it. It was still really cool. It's cooler than most of these video game things are.
Yeah.
You know, Assassin's Creed had a lot of live action stuff, but. Yeah, it was like expensive, cheap TV.
Yeah,
which is strange. So not a massive.
But
fan,
then I was kind of down on it all the way through, really, wasn't I?
Yeah, it's weird. I liked all the setup at the beginning when you weren't seeing anything, when there was just kids talking and stuff, and the bodies running from the sky in like 3 was awesome.
Yeah,
there was a couple of really good moments.
There are.
But Halo is more than a warthog. It's basically.
And also, I mean. speaking of the cast, I mean the kids. Obviously, we've commented all the way through it that they look really young. And then 2 Spartans take off their helmets and they look like they're 2 years older.
I didn't think they looked that young, but that was a bit weird, that scene.
Yeah, where she kind of goes, "How old are you guys?" And they're like, "That's classified."
Yeah,
Everything's classified.
yeah.
So I think at that point in the conflict, they must have been quite young.
I don't know. We don't know how old Masterchief is, do we?
But how long has Masterchief been going for, at least, so far?
Oh, he's been going for some time.
Yeah.
For some time. But we don't know whether he's 450 years old, do we? Could he be like a Yoda character?
No.
I reckon he's early 30s, mid 30s.
You don't think Spartans live longer than normal human beings?
It's possible.
Is that not what they were alluding to
but
with
then
the whole?
You'd think that they're so overpowered in comparison to the average human body that that would burn them out. So surely they die younger.
Yes, I don't know.
Maybe in the future it's like Neanderthal time.
They're taken as normal kids, aren't
when
they?
24 years of age is like, man, you should be dead.
But in like Halo lore, they're taken as kids, right? They're normal human kids, right? And they're taken and they put into the Spartan program. But we don't know. But it's weird. You're right. When they take their masks off and they've got like kind of freaky eyes and they look kind of weird,
albinos.
Yeah, and that's just a bit strange. And then when they don't, when they say it's classified, how old they are, I feel like they're going, "That's because I'm 92."
Maybe.
And I don't know. It's just something weird about that. I don't understand why it was made such a big deal of.
Yeah. No.
But I could have just missed it. Could have just missed it.
Yeah. It's a wise one.
Halo 4, man, it's out tomorrow. I'm just gonna chat about it here, just quickly at the top of the show, because it's out. It's out in a few hours.
Yeah.
I'm seriously excited for it.
Yeah, I'm getting soaked for it now.
I hit General today in Halo Reach.
You did.
Like just moments before the podcast, and that's it. I feel like now I'm done. I can put Halo Reach to bed now. I'm happy with General. I'll accept General. Finally got the last piece of armor that I wanted for my Spartan, and done. Cool. Like what a beautiful way, what a beautiful send off. Yeah,
my closure was completing the campaign on Heroic.
Yeah, you did on Heroic recently, didn't you? Yeah, it's funny how like people start to prepare before games. Like, I've just got to close this book.
Yeah,
just finish this chapter
you
before
just need it. It's like no, that's what you did to put it to bed.
Yeah,
I was done with Halo Reach about 6 months ago.
Well, you're not a big Halo fan, are you, Joe?
No.
Which is kind of but then are you? No, I was going to say you're not really an online multiplayer fan, but you are. You play Battlefield a lot.
Yeah.
You don't do Call of Duty anymore.
No, I gave up on that.
But you've never really been into Halo.
Yeah, I've always wanted to, because it's like I know most people that I know play Halo online, and it's just Halo just never has that appeal to draw me back in like day after day to carry on playing in multiplayer.
I'll tell you what is happening with Joe, which happened when Reach came out, is everyone around him gets so hyped, he just gets swept up in the hype, and he blows loads of money on Halo, and then a week later he goes, "Hang on, I fucking hate Halo."
Yeah, it happens with every game. Gears of War 3 done it as well. I don't even like Gears of War. I was going to get a standard copy, but working and just like going through like seeing what is coming out for Gears of War, I was like, yeah, I may have to get a limited edition, and that controller's looking quite nice now, and just builds and builds and builds. Yeah.
I don't understand. I certainly don't understand the controller thing. The Halo 4 limited edition stuff's pretty nice, right?
Yeah.
It looks good. The console and the controllers. And they're blue lights and they're see-through plastic, and it's like, wow. But then I just go, it's see-through plastic. Like, what, really? It reminds me of N64 days.
Right.
With the controllers there. Where the original, like, grey, red, green, yellow, and blue ones, they were pretty cool. But then when you start to get translucent purple ones...
They start doing half-tone as well, didn't they?
God-awful Pokemon console.
Yeah.
With the extra massive plastic Pikachu
blue and
on the
yellow,
side. Yeah. Oh, it reminds me of all that. And so I don't want novelty controllers.
Yeah,
that's what they are, Joe. They're a joke.
Yeah, it's not so much novelty controllers. I just like to replace my controller every year.
Yeah. I mean, that's actually not a bad idea to do that. Except for I always find when I buy a new controller, it just doesn't feel right.
I don't know. I've just cracked out the one that came with my console and traded in my last one that I had, which I was using.
Does it feel good? Does it feel right?
Yeah, it feels nice.
Because Halo 4's not going to feel right, is it? Because the controls are going to change.
Yeah. Well, go in and do some minor adjusting. I know you don't like adjusting your.
I'm not adjusting. Setups. No. Adapt. Don't adjust. that's what you do.
But from what you've been telling me about the control scheme, is I'll just run straight.
It's more. It's just more Call of Duty. Like, so it will be interesting to see. You're picking up tonight as well, Joe. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get it.
I'm interested to see exactly what you'll think of the multiplayer, because we're guaranteed to pretty much love it. This is going to be the game that's going to keep me and Sean, talking for the next year or so, right? So. It'd be interesting to see how you get on with it, because, like you say, you've not really been a fan in the past.
It's not.
Oh, you keep telling me that you're really good at these games.
I can be.
Then show me, Joe. Show me We've all got a blank canvas tonight. That's it. We're all going in from the same point. Show me how good you are.
I just need something to keep drawing me back in. Cause that's,
Well, this you can upgrade your guns.
Well,
and
maybe
stuff.
Spartan Ops will be the thing that does that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just I want something to go back in and work for.
All right. Well, there's a rank. There's your ranking up.
Yeah,
and
ranking, I
unlocking.
don't even pay attention to rank anymore.
Right.
I just pay attention to what I can
So
get.
what do you
what's
want?
there.
You just want abilities and weapons?
The thing that draws me back to Battlefield is getting a new gun, working your way through every unlock for that gun, and then you move on to a new one. Get every unlock for that.
Yeah,
move
there's
on to a
stuff
new
like
one.
that in Halo 4.
Yeah.
You'll be able to do things like that.
It's working towards your next objective that keeps drawing you back. It's like
Well, you've got-
leveling up just doesn't. It's just another level. It's just another little picture. It's like I have nothing to show
Okay,
for
so
it.
this has specializations. So once you hit a certain level in your
Yeah.
player character, then you get to choose a specialization and go through that tree of sort of like, you know, moving your character up, and you get different abilities with each one of those specializations. Is that enough? Is that good?
It
There's
sounds
loads
like,
of them.
Yeah, it sounds like a system that could draw me in
All right,
to keep going.
We'll
So,
see.
Yeah, we'll see.
we'll see. We'll ask you next week.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll even be a week, so we won't really necessarily know whether it's drawn you in a week, but we will have a look. I'm so psyched for this game. I'm not looking forward to a midnight launch.
No.
Mainly because we've got to go there earlier than midnight. Midnight launch to me just seems like just like walking into a shop at 2:00 in the afternoon. Like I just do it at midnight. I go in, pick up what I want, and leave. Right?
If you want to do that, you want to turn up at like 2:00 in the morning or 1:30, just so you can
Once
walk
everybody
straight
else
in.
is gone.
Yeah, you just walk straight in and get yours.
No, I just want it, and I want to go. I need to start getting into. Well, lots of people buy stuff online, don't they? To get it, if you buy stuff from like Shop 2 or something, you know, quite often you'll get it sent the day before it comes out.
Yeah.
But I've never got into that. I can't be asked. I need a physical building to go into. Embrace, you know, like wrap yourself in games. Be surrounded by them.
It's part of the experience.
It is. What an experience, Joe. All right, so let's talk about some games we played then. What have we played this week? You played some Medal of Honor Warfighter.
I have indeed, yes. I've finished it.
Was the first Medal of Honor called just Medal of Honor?
Yeah, it was just Medal of Honor, the last one.
Okay.
EA's favourite pastime, naming games that they've already named.
Yeah, like, can we need to stop that, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
we need to
it
stop
should
that.
stop really.
It should at the very least, like Warfighter, have a subtitle.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, well, because they're never as good as the one that they're named after as well. That's
True.
the other thing, because and that's why they've chosen it, because like the name's good, right, and it's strong. You wouldn't choose a shit name, right? If there was a game that was terrible, no one's going to make another game called Blinks the Time Sweeper.
Right.
You know, that's not going to happen. But you know, something good like Tomb Raider or whatever, they use the name again, and it's never as good then as that original one. So it's like, well, that's ruined that, and it feels like you're just cheating. Just name a
It
game,
is.
just
and
also
it just generally
just ruin systems.
Unnecessary
Yeah, it's
confusion,
crazy.
I'd
It
say.
doesn't make any sense. Imagine if Thursday was called Wednesday. You know, I just the chaos of that. I'll see you on Wednesday. You know, like,
Do you mean Wednesday,
which
or do you mean
Wednesday?
Thursday,
Yeah.
Wednesday?
Do you mean the Wednesday that came out in 1987 or the Wednesday that came out in 1994? Yeah, that's not right. But okay, so Medal of Honor Warfighter.
Yes.
It's also a great name, but it sounds ridiculous. But I think is actually a real title.
Yeah, well, Warfighter refers to just the general soldier. That's all it is.
All right, but is it a military term, warfighter? Or
No,
are you just saying, well, he fights in wars, so he's a warfighter?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Or is his rank warfighter?
No, it's nothing like that. It's
Pretty sure Warfire isn't a rank in any military
It should be though, right?
establishment.
Like the ranks that should be in the military that aren't are warfighter, Iron Man, King of the Hill, and Big Bow. All of those should be in there.
Maybe you need to start your own military unit.
Yeah.
Fox
All right.
Hound.
So Warfighter's not a rank. Fair enough. I didn't know if it was an official term or if it is
No,
as
it's
ridiculous as it sounds. Of like, it's Warfighter.
Yeah, no, it's just a term referred to soldiers in general.
Okay. All right. So what's it like? You liked the first one,
I love the first one.
which is a bad game.
Yeah, you had trouble. I loved it. I had no problems with it.
Yeah. Okay. We saw, interestingly enough, actually, we saw Cheryl recently, who used to be on the podcast. We saw her. Was it last night? No, it was
No,
night before
night
last.
before,
Night before last. And we were talking to her, and she was talking to us about Warfighter, interestingly. And she
Yeah.
said that only 2 games have ever made her cry. 2 games, Joe.
Yeah.
First one being Medal of Honor, and the second game being Medal of Honor Warfighter. And that makes no sense to me at all.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but I almost cried at Medal of Honor, and I almost cried at Warfighter.
What's happening in these games?
I don't even... It's like they go a lot further story-wise than your typical Call of Duty.
Okay.
They invest like story into every character. So in both of them, you play as 2 different characters, and then they just build up the backstory between them and the group you're playing in.
But surely, so what is it that's making you cry? Because surely the only bad thing that really happens in those games is people get shot, right?
Yes.
So it's just a case of someone you didn't want to get shot gets shot.
Pretty much, it's someone.
That's enough to make you cry.
Yeah. But the thing
You've spent 9 hours just coldly, mercilessly killing people, shooting them in the head for extra points, and then someone else gets shot. And you're like, oh. I can't.
But it's not the fact that they die; it's the way they die. So in the first one, it's a guy called Rabbit, who's a new member to the Tier 1, right?
Yeah.
And you play through the entire game. You play the last mission as Rabbit. He gets shot in a cave. And then for 5 to 10 minutes...
No one survives getting shot in the cave. Someone get a doctor. We need a cave specialist. He's been shot in the cave. I don't know. We've got a guy with a cave wound.
Yeah, so he's in a cave and he's been shot.
Right.
Okay, and for about 5 minutes, he's bleeding out and you're seeing through his eyes everyone around him trying to help him.
Is this just like an extended Call of Duty? Is this exactly the Call of Duty thing, but just like a more extended scene? You know, like where you survive the helicopter crash, or you know the first person death scenes that you keep getting in these games.
Yeah, no, but it's
just
like
that.
No, it's just like really, because like in like the first person death in Call of Duty, it's literally you're just walking around as a guy, you see some people die and then you die.
Sure.
In this, you're a guy that's dying, you're seeing through his eyes. Everyone's trying to help him. There's giant guys with massive beards crying, trying to help this guy onto a helicopter, and they're trying to keep him alive. And it's just like you're there playing with someone who's dying with people trying to help him.
I mean, I suppose you're more invested in this character anyway because you've seen them more. I mean, in Call of Duty, you jump about from characters quite a lot.
Yeah.
So you never really get attached to any of them because you don't know who he is. It's just like, what accent has this guy got now? So, all right, you like it, and it's an emotional ride for you.
It is, yes.
And two or Warfighter or whatever has been the same.
It has, yes, yeah.
Okay, I'm interested. I'm not really interested in this game because the first one I really thought was terrible, and I had a game-breaking bug that stopped me from progressing.
Yeah.
But which made me cry, by the way. So we do have something in common there, Joe. Yeah. But this one I've heard this has interesting driving sections done by Black Box.
Yeah, no, there's
Black Box, Black Rock. Black Box.
One that's
blast from the past.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so there's like 3 different driving sections in there, and they are very well put together. They work very well. So the first one is you're tailing a guy in an SUV, and you're in a pickup truck, and you're just following him around some Middle Eastern country. And then out of nowhere, he spots you and just takes off. And so you're just racing through streets, dodging traffic, like knocking down stalls. And the driving system works really well. So there's handbrake.
Well, I mean, if it's Black Rock, they did. What did Black Rock do split second? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're a talented racing team that I don't think exists anymore. I think they were just folded into EA in general. But in that big melting pot of developers that they seem to use on every game now, they did those sections.
Yeah.
So I've heard a lot of good things. Although I've also heard there's a weird sort of stealth driving section.
There is, yeah. So you like kidnap a guy called Hassan and you stick him in your boot and you're trying to escape and then his security come after you. So you're outrunning them to the point where you do lose them, but they seal off this neighbourhood that you're in, and you're just trying to get past their patrols in the neighbourhood whilst escaping the neighbourhood.
That sounds terrible.
Oh yeah, it's really not. It's like terrible.
It just doesn't sound any fun because I know I can visualise it almost exactly. I hope I'm visualising exactly as you mean. So it's standard get away from the cops GTA style at first.
Yeah.
Then once you get away, they just close off and open a small open world environment, and you're going down avenues like Pac-Man to avoid ghosts.
Yeah, basically, and you're like ducking in behind like walls so they can drive past you, and you pull out again and drive around.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds grim.
Yeah. Doesn't sound like a great deal of fun to play, but okay, that's fairly interesting. Have you played any multiplayer of this?
I haven't, no. I have no interest this time around in the
You're being weird at the moment, man. Why are you just culling multiplayer sessions? You're just like, no, that whole portion of the game, not even going to try it. Don't want to, I'm done.
Still Battlefield.
I'm done.
Yeah, this is the thing. I did have initial plans, me and Cheryl, to play a lot of it. She's already got rid of her copy, so it's pointless me keeping hold of mine.
But you don't have to have a person to do that. You can just jump in. I play a lot of online shooters just by myself.
And Medal of Honor's not fun on your own.
Okay.
That's the whole point. It was like I played the beta. I played like a couple of hours on my own. Didn't enjoy it. When I was playing it with someone else, it was fun. So this time round, I'm really not looking forward to it.
I must admit, I can't do extensive sessions on Reach by myself. Like if we're playing as a team, as a group, then that's kind of like 3-4 hours.
Yeah, I mean it's a social thing as well,
just
right?
Me, and I'm playing kind of SWAT, I'll do like 3-4 matches and.
Oh no, it gets crazy.
It's just not fun.
I can play hours of Battlefield on my own. It's just like Medal of Honor just doesn't do it.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. I don't know. I'll play.
Some
I'll
things
play
are just better with others.
Yeah, well, that is true. That is true, and we will all be playing Halo 4 later tonight. Anything else you want to say about Medal of Honor, Joe? That's worth saying, apart from that you love it.
Not really.
Is it cheap yet? Is it cheap yet?
No, it's still expensive.
It won't be long.
I'd say I'll give it a week.
Yeah, I'm not. The best thing about that game: beards, lots of beards, lots of big beards. There's one dude in it I saw a screenshot of that literally has the biggest beard I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, the guy with the biggest beard is called Dusty, and literally he's in one mission.
Right.
He's in loads of cutscenes. I should really discuss the cutscenes.
Oh, tell us about the cutscenes.
Yeah, so in between each mission, what they've gone for are high quality cutscenes, and what they've got is about 70% high quality cutscenes.
What do you mean by high quality cutscenes?
Well, so they've instead of rendering cutscenes in in-game engine,
yeah,
they've gone all out and had these things made.
Oh, okay, all right.
To look polished and as good as they can go, and the soldiers in them work really well. They look good. Right. You know, their beards and faces and
best beards ever.
Yeah, no, seriously, beards are actually really good.
It's all about the beards.
Yeah, but then you go to a guy called Preacher, and you see his wife. She looks fucking terrible.
No
his
beard.
Kid looks terrible.
No beard.
No, it's just literally all the women in that game look terrible.
No beards.
Yeah.
So we're expecting them to get the best beard in game award this year.
If they gave one, I'd give it to them.
Okay. So that's it. Yeah, just weird, uncanny valley stuff. People looking freaky.
Yeah, it's
the
just
usual.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. Again, it'd be interesting. That's one of the things I'm interested in Halo, because that's the in-game models of the faces for the cutscenes and stuff look being phenomenal. And Halo's always been terrible for that stuff. And it's bad, man. A bad face is a bad face. It's not. No one wants to look at a bad face. You can't
escape it.
No, it's horrible. And lip syncing's always an issue in like games. It bugs me so much. I'm just like, I don't. No, put helmets on them all. You know. Okay. All right. Yeah, Medal of Honor. It's really weird. I'm not interested in the slightest. Like at all. And I normally check out stuff like, I'll get Call of Duty. I want that. Battlefield, I was interested in playing. I like Bad Company, so I do try these things out. But Medal of Honor, just whatever.
It's just you had the terrible experience in the first one.
But even that, I played that months after it came out, and nothing grabbed me to go, yo, Medal of Honor. It's just it doesn't seem to be adding anything new. Yeah. It just looks like another modern combat game.
Well, that's my view on all three of those titles you just mentioned. They're just bracketed to me over there.
But I think you still do it wrong. I think you shouldn't. I think you shouldn't rule out all of the modern combat stuff because some of them are good games. But I think you're right that it's just they are the same. I don't need them all. But Medal of Honor just is by far the weakest.
No, I'd say it's I'd take Medal of Honor over most of them.
Okay.
Because Battlefield was nowhere near as strong. Call of Duty never grabs me.
But Battlefield's more multiplayer focused, isn't it? Medal of Honor is more single player.
Bad Company was awesome. The story in Bad Company was hilarious.
I hope they bring Bad Company back.
So do I.
I really do. And maybe they will. Maybe that's the next game. But
the next one's Battlefield 4 in it. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, they did announce that. Didn't they?
Yeah. So they're giving away the beat with Medal of Honor.
All right. You played some Assassin's Creed, Sean. Some Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah. Man, this game, there's a lot going on in it. You can see that it's been 3 years in dev, man. It's just packed.
Well, we played it not so long ago, didn't we? We all had a brief go on it. We did the E3 demo with the boats, which we'll talk about, in a little bit. But it looked swish then. It's a pretty game.
Yeah, it is.
And it pulls off the open world really well. I mean, the weather effects and the snow in particular in the frontier sections of the game. It just worked really well when you're kind of traipsing through the snow and it's kind of thigh deep and you leave that trail behind you and you can track people using their trails as well in the snow and stuff. So it adds a game element to it, not just a visual effect. I
mean, they've always been kind of smart anyway because Assassin's Creed games are they're quite grown up almost in a way, and they're quite mature.
Yeah.
Also, they're almost sensible.
Yeah.
I almost feel it just.
I think the sterile look of all the Stargo stuff kind of adds to that.
Yeah, totally.
So this is a game for
and there's just some normal shit in it. As much as it's not normal, it's crazy as anything sci-fi. But the bits where I remember lots of bits from the first one where you're back in the real world outside of the Animus.
Sure.
And you're just a dude walking around an apartment. It could just be heavy rain, and it feels it looks like a very swish and expensive apartment. It's kind of what you're.
Well, it's the labs. It's the Abstergo labs, isn't it, that he's in?
So it's just strange. It's kind of very sterile and a bit dull.
Yeah, I mean, they've nicked a fair amount of stuff from other games now. It's borrowed heavily from Red Dead.
Right.
You've got animal hunting in there. And
you do get that feel, don't you?
yeah, and a lot of horse riding. There's a lot of horse riding in this.
Have you played this as well, Joe?
Yes, I have this as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so on the animal hunting, then, blood splattering on the screen every single time you do it.
I
In an
don't,
unskippable
there's-
animation.
No,
There's
doesn't.
quite a lot of blood splatter on your pure white outfit
okay.
from killing them. I mean, it's weird. You've got multiple ways that you can hunt. You've kind of got snares that you can put down and bait to use with the snare, or you can hide in bushes and throw bait down, and animals come to you, and then you just jump out and stab them with your knife.
And why am I hunting? Is it just to give me food?
No,
Money.
yeah,
Money?
Really, yeah.
You're hunting money?
Well, it's same
Money
as-
doesn't
same as
come
in Red
from
Dead.
goats.
Red Dead, you sell your pelts and stuff.
All right,
don't
okay.
you?
So that's so you're getting stuff off the
There's
market.
multiple reasons to get all these bits and pieces. There's also your homestead, which is basically in number 2 you have your chalet and the surrounding area.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You've got a mansion, and then you do missions to get people to move into the area.
So why am I hunting? I'm not going to let this go.
No, but they then craft.
Okay.
They're coming in.
So I'm
like,
getting
set up-
ingredients for stuff.
Yeah, set up wood shops and set up
Right.
various other things, and then you can use that to send off to market and stuff. I mean, there's a lot going on with the economy system in it, and I've not really got involved.
I've never
in
understood. Yeah, I never understood. I mean,
It's-
I went off the Assassin's games as soon as that came in. I was just,
Sure.
I'm not really into that bit. I kind of like just the running around stabbing people in the neck.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, the one they had in Assassin's Creed 2 was really simple.
Yeah,
you just
it
you build more
makes a
things and they
lot
give
more
you money.
sense than
Yeah,
3.
this is just fucking complicated as hell.
and you don't really like this. It kind of gives you the most basic tutorial you can get,
Yeah.
and so that you can do it. But at the same time, it's not really explaining anything to you. Obviously, you can look into it if you're interested in that sort of shit. But it seems to be like additional. It doesn't affect you if you're not involved.
Yeah.
You find a lot of money through treasure boxes and stuff. So it's not a necessity.
Well, so why are you playing this game? Are you playing this game for the story or for the game?
The story is seriously involved in this one, and
Right.
it's already from the get go. They throw the twists at you pretty thick and
And
fast.
are you already wrapped up in the Assassin's Creed story
To a
anyway?
degree,
or
I
are you
mean, I
just
didn't finish
in through?
Revelations, so at the
Okay.
beginning of this one, you're like driving along, his dad's there, and I'm like, where the fuck did his dad come from?
Yeah.
And so there's bits that I've missed, like that. There seems like at the end of Revelation that it kind of explains shit happened at the end of Brotherhood for like Desmond stabbing Lucy and stuff.
Don't spoil it, man.
Well,
what
that
game
was,
does
that was
happen
2
in?
fucking games ago.
Okay,
If
all right,
if you're playing this
okay.
game, you've played them by
All
now.
right,
I
okay.
mean, like, what's Brotherhood? It's probably like
I don't know. No,
£9,
I just know
£10,
people are going
£12.99
nuts
or
for this stuff. I don't know. I don't care.
But so yeah, I missed a large chunk of the plot. But this one has kind of got me going. Maybe I'll go back and finish Revelations. It's brought me back round, I must admit. But it is glitchy as fuck.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
I've seen
glitches.
a few things online about people complaining about bugs in the game.
A lot.
It doesn't sound like anything too major though.
I've fallen through the map twice. I had a game of checkers which I couldn't finish, and I won. He
Right.
wouldn't let me put down the last move to take his last 2 pieces. I lost £10 because all of the money is in pounds, which I fucking love.
Yeah.
Obviously set in revolutionary America, the War of Independence, and so it's all British Empire shit. And again, the British are pretty much the villains.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it looks good. What's the killing like? You got a tomahawk, I guess.
Yeah, there's shitloads of weapons. I barely use my tomahawk. I use either hidden blades or my sword.
I use Tomahawk, man. The moves he does with the Tomahawk are fucking awesome.
It has got a double counter in this one, which is
Yeah.
good. They look fucking swish.
The fighting when I saw it looked really slow though.
It
looked
is.
way
It seems,
slower
it
than
seems that
before.
they've simplified it yet again, made it more accessible to a wider audience, and it pauses. So every time a hit comes in, you block it. It then pauses and lets you select what you want to do in counter.
I can still remember Assassin's Creed 1 where you had that like a fraction of
Yeah.
a second to react to a counter.
One's
Now it
combat
just goes
was
on forever.
more seriously skill based, where this one is a lot.
Well, and a lot of
a
it
lot
just
more
seems to have evolved.
accessible.
Everything, like the way you just get around the city as well, is just kind of everything's kind of changed. Like they've made it with each game, they've made it easier and easier and easier. As if like the next game they're just going to go, why don't you just teleport here? You know, because you got that hook thing to like jump higher on the buildings.
He doesn't have the hook in this,
and they put zip lines and stuff in some of them. And
yeah,
it's just
that,
so, like
that was both of those were from Revelation.
it was
yeah.
just seemed a lot like the developers just going, look, we know you kind of love climbing, but we know you don't love climbing as much as we thought you liked climbing.
I think they wanted it's Revelation's own kind of combat property to distinguish it from Brotherhood.
Right.
Because then it's like it's not a numbered game. It's another kind of not spin off because it's main canon. It's like going through the main plot, but at the same time, it's not a numbered game. So it's people are starting to go, well, are you ever going to give us 3? It's another 2.5.
Yeah, sure.
And it's not 2.5. It's not 2.5.
Well, and I'm sure there'll be more as well to come. You know,
Probably.
There's whatever the other one is, Liberty one.
Yeah,
PS
on
Vita one.
PSV.
Liberation.
Yeah.
Or Lady Liberty.
Lady Liberty in Japan. Yeah. And that's apparently has some level of crossover in it. I don't know. I think maybe Connor turns up in that one rather than her chucking up in this one. So I'm sure there'll be loads of them. Ubisoft aren't going to stop the Assassin's Creed train anytime soon, are they?
I mean, the things that kind of win me over with this game is there's some fucking awesome set pieces. The bit where you're pegging it through, I think it's Charlestown, and it's being bombed by 2 ships out of port, and the buildings are just ripping apart while cannonballs are coming through, and you're just pegging it along and ducking out of the way of people, ducking out of the way of buildings.
Have you done the boat bit?
That specific boat bit, no. I've done a lot of sea combat though.
Okay, and that was all right.
I'm a lot better with it now than I was in the demo. It's kind of, you need to find your feet with it and get used to like turning whilst looking in the opposite direction with your guns and stuff.
Still find it weird.
It is a pain in the arse.
Boats, it's just the way they move. The way they move is crazy. They're like speedboats. They're like little speedboats. And you can turn like so easily for what is a massive ship.
You can, but at the same time you're going, turn, you fucker, turn.
Yeah, true, I guess.
Pelted.
And you wouldn't want it to take as long as it would actually take.
No.
That would suck.
Yeah, you'd have to be a proper...
It was like a little mini game of like pulling
strategist.
ropes and turning things and just like move that over there and like 4 men lifting something up. No.
The Kinect version, I can see it.
Yeah. I'm not so sure. Any famous people popped up?
Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah.
George Washington.
B. Franklin. George Washington as well.
Yeah.
Good.
There's sort of forefathers. I've not seen any Abe Lincoln yet. Won't rule him out.
Imagine it.
He's off fighting vampires.
This is true.
Yeah.
That's possibly true. Yeah, it sounds all right. And I'm Assassin's Creed for me is like, I'm interested in it. I kind of like the idea because it reminds me of Quantum Leap and stuff like that.
Right.
And but there's too many of the games, and I'm not interested. The problem is I'm not really interested in the bit they don't spend time with.
Right.
I'm not really interested in the look at me in my robes with the dagger. That's pretty cool, but I'm not really interested. I'm interested in the other side, in the amicus. All that shit's happening in the real world.
Yeah.
I don't see any of that stuff.
Yeah, you should spend some time with this game.
Yeah, no, it does change your opinions. I was always concerned about Desmond and where his story is going. Now I'm just like, Connor's actually pretty awesome.
Alright, yeah, no, I'm all about Desmond, and I haven't seen enough of that, and I don't want to play 6 hours of a game that I like a little bit to play the little bit that I like where I don't do anything.
Sure.
So we'll see. What happened to Desmond's face? Did anyone catch that? Has anyone seen the weird transformations of Desmond's face throughout the game?
I haven't seen a comparison, but I did notice that his face has changed significantly.
Yeah. There's just, I don't know which game it is. There's one game where his face is just completely different.
Yeah.
It's just like, what the freak happened to his face? He's not
like when
he's not a looker anyway.
When Mark Hamill has the car accident in between Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, and his face has just been remodeled. And you're like, that guy looks the same, but different.
All right, so that reminds me then, actually, we'll chat about it after the break. Let's have a break and then we'll come back in.
Right.
But you've got me onto some Star Wars thinking.
Yeah.
We're gonna listen to some Assassin's Creed music now. It's from the launch trailer. I can't remember who it was by. I looked it up. Didn't I? Looked it up and I can't.
And you told me.
I did tell you. But
I didn't remember.
That's no guarantee that we're ever going to know. It's called Radioactive anyway. It's by Imagine Dragons, I think.
Yeah, it sounds right.
It's a pretty cool piece of music from the Assassin's Creed trailer. So we're back in a couple of minutes.
Enjoy.
It's a revolution, I suppose. We're painted red to fit right in. Whoa. I'm breaking in, shaping up, then checking out on the prison bus. This is it, the apocalypse. Whoa. I'm waking up, I feel it in my bones, enough to make my system blow. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Radioactive. All systems go. The sun hasn't died. Deep.
Okay, we are back. That was some music, Assassin's Creed style. It's all right.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's kind of like the typical music these days. If it's not dubstep, it's kind of like fairly poncy, Coldplay-ish sort of stuff that goes in trailers.
Yeah.
Mood music.
But I do prefer it to dubstep.
Yeah, I suppose. Okay. We almost mentioned it before the show. You reminded me with the Mark Hamill before the break. You reminded me with the Mark Hamill reference. Disney bought Star Wars. Well, they didn't just buy Star Wars.
They bought LucasArts outright.
Yeah, and Lucasfilm.
It was like $4.05
$4.05 billion, yeah, which I think is about what they paid for Marvel, if I remember correctly. Yeah, George Lucas just went, yeah, I'll have a $4 billion.
Do you reckon he put it on eBay?
Maybe.
George Lucas just sat there just thinking, how can I fuck up Star Wars even more? I'll sell it to Disney.
That's not.
I don't think that's the case.
I know.
I think there's big backlash, and there was a lot of concern with Marvel kind of making the obvious reference that Goofy's going to turn up in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And Marvel's just gone from strength.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any problem with this at all. At the end of the day, Star Wars couldn't get any worse, right? To the point of where like one of the best things they did in one of the best properties of Star Wars now, which is the cartoon series, the
Clone Wars
CGI stuff.
Yeah.
Like the strongest thing they did in that was bring back a character that died. Do you know what I mean? They brought back Darth Maul, and it was like that's how bad Star Wars had got, and that the only character that really left that anyone really wanted to see was one that had already been killed off in the first movie that he turned up in. So Star Wars I'm not worried about at all. But it's interesting because they didn't just get Star Wars, they got LucasArts, right? And Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
Lucasfilm was the main deal,
so that's
so it's Indiana Jones and stuff like that. And
that's also Skywalker Sounds,
yeah. And LucasArts obviously means a whole bunch of games.
Yeah.
And maybe, a higher chance of seeing some of the old cool point-and-click stuff that people really, there's been a thirst for, things like Day of the Tentacle and stuff like that. Disney have said they're going to put out more games, more Star Wars games. They've talked about Star Wars and that's all they've talked about. But they've said, first of all, they said, Episode 7.
Yeah. What's that? So it's scheduled for
2015, Episode 7. And they specifically said Episode 7. I've since seen a news report online about it maybe being about Luke Skywalker in his 30s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, there is follow-up stuff, which is to this point considered main canon, which is Dark Empire, where Luke Skywalker joins the dark side, and it is wicked.
Okay.
Dark Horse comic stuff, and it is proper.
It'd be interesting to see what they say. I don't see how they follow it on really easily because everyone's really old, right? Unless they just do and use, do we think anyone from original Star Wars is going to turn up? It's only ever going to be either Mark Hamill or Carrie. It's going to be Carrie Fisher, right? Because she turns up in everything. She's just whatever.
Yeah, she just seems to be anything.
Yeah.
So
I think she'd be well on board.
But
for
come on,
up.
Harrison Ford. How is he going to play Han Solo in
He's
his
not.
40s?
No, yeah, he's not. But
I would imagine they're going to do a Bond with it or a Batman with it and just bring in a whole new cast. Just saying they're
they need
characters.
to keep going. They're not just saying it's going to be one more movie, right? They're saying it's going to be another 3. So
I would have thought so.
That that's interesting. But they've also said they're going to put out a lot more Star Wars games. I think focusing mainly on sort of mobile and casual sort of crowd.
Right.
But that's also interesting because obviously 13 is coming out soon, and apparently this won't affect that. It shouldn't do. 13 should be well into its stride now. It should be approaching sort of not final days, but getting close to it. So it shouldn't affect that. But it does mean Disney own everything.
Yeah.
Just everything.
Yeah,
because they got Pixar not so long ago as well, didn't they? Remember? Because Pixar were never a part of them, and they had their problems with Pixar. Yeah. And now it's all, they just have the lot. Like, if there's anything that makes money in the entertainment industry, Disney own it. It does mean, Joe, and I was thinking this the other day, or as soon as I heard it, it means the next Kingdom Hearts game could be freaking awesome.
Yeah, this is true. You could have Marvel and Star Wars characters.
Yeah, exactly. You could have Spider-Man and Han Solo.
Final Fantasy and Disney characters.
Yeah, and that's crazy because Kingdom Hearts was wicked. It was a great idea.
Yeah.
But it's way more hardcore than you initially think.
Oh man, it's a really tough game. I never finished number 1.
But it's brilliant. All the Disney references are amazing. And to think of having Star Wars in that and Marvel characters sounds just super awesome. It's a crazy idea. Yeah. Kingdom Hearts makes no sense. On the box art makes no sense.
It's like a nexus of galaxies. Isn't it? That's the whole
weird.
point.
Yeah,
so
but not even galaxies of the same weight. Like Marvel versus Capcom. You're like, oh, cool, brilliant. That kind of actually that's similar sort of thing. If it doesn't really make sense, DC versus Marvel would make sense, right? Because they're two of the similar properties. But this is, we're talking Disney films, cartoons, and then Square Enix games. And those worlds don't cross over, and it's a weird explosion of strangeness.
But it worked.
Yeah, it's great. Absolutely great.
Never played it.
You should give it a go. Well, you know,
Yeah, it's probably a bit late.
Maybe
to
the
come to that
spark's
party.
gone now.
But next one with Iron Man and
yeah,
Luke
exactly.
Skywalker, give that one a
definitely.
So yeah, it's nuts. $4.05 billion will get you George Lucas. Basically, it means he's stepping back.
Yeah, he's still on the board or something.
Yeah.
Isn't he?
Yeah. He handed it over not so long ago. Too.
Yeah, that's true. He did say, but I feel like he said before as well. There's never going to be any more Star Wars films. I also feel like he said there's going to be 1 billion more Star Wars films. Like, every week he's like, I wrote 12 of these. I wrote 6 of these. I wrote 9 of these. I wrote 30 movies when I initially wrote the first one, and I just haven't been able to make them all.
I absolutely hate George Lucas.
He's a very hateable man. You know, he's a very hateable man because of the train wrecks that are. That's the thing.
Our childhoods.
Train wrecks. You know, 1,
not
2,
just
and 3.
yeah.
That wasn't our childhoods, man. They were just ruined. They're not that old, these movies.
What? No, the first ones.
Well, the first ones, he didn't ruin our childhood.
No, but the follow-up. Our childhood memories.
Right, okay.
Sorry, I clarified.
Yeah, and, you know, that's not going to happen again. You know, they're going to be really careful with it, right? Because everyone knows the state of Star Wars.
Look at the Avengers. It didn't hurt for those movies to be in Disney, under the Disney canon. You know what I'm saying? They've got the backing power and the experience to make.
But I wonder how much
really
they
high
did. I
quality.
wonder how much Disney have affected
I imagine
Marvel.
Disney.
It's still Marvel
Disney,
Studios, right?
Yeah, but Disney execs are going to be involved, right?
I guess.
And
but-
Disney just be like, just have this wad of money and do what you want.
But if you
don't know if they
buy
would be
a
that
company, right?
step
Like,
back.
the company, I don't think the company changed that much. I don't think anyone really moved. I think Marvel Studios was still Marvel Studios, just now with Disney money.
I imagine there's some reporting going on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there must be. But as far as creative control, it's not smart to do that, right?
No,
you
no,
buy
yeah.
what's working well,
Yeah,
and then
sure.
you just
But
keep it working well, and
that's
you get
the
the
point.
money.
Is LucasArts working well?
No. It's just the biggest property in the world.
Sure.
It's huge, so they can fix that, right? They can fix that. So it's weird, yeah. Star Wars is back. George Lucas has got even more money. That's basically it.
Yeah.
And he's going to continue to get money forever, isn't he?
I would imagine.
Is
so.
he old?
He's old enough to not need
Yeah.
4.05 billion.
Yeah, true. That's more than he will spend before he dies. That's very true. That's a lot of hookers.
That is a hell of a lot of hookers.
Yeah. So
Well, it'll probably lead
That's
to the
maybe-
way he dies.
That's maybe all of the hookers.
so yeah.
probably could do, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about some games again. We played a few other little bits. You played Xbox Live Arcade game this week.
Pid. Yeah.
I can't really remember this game. I remember it looks really nice.
The presentation's really nice. The thing that struck me most about Pid is that it really comes across as more of an indie title. I would expect to find this from its presentation how.
Well, it probably is though, isn't it? It's just.
I suppose it's an independent studio, but it's not in that indie section. Obviously, it's a full arcade title.
Yeah.
And it's 800 points. I was too stingy to pay that. I didn't buy
You
it.
just got the demo.
I just got the demo.
So what is it? Tell us about it.
I don't know. It doesn't really seem to have much of a narrative. You're kind of like a little dude. I guess he's human, vaguely maybe, and it's environmental puzzling predominantly.
2D.
Yes, with
Right.
3D models. So initially you start off and you kind of crawl through a little tunnel and there's like a big demon thing underneath you watching TV or something, and you get like a glowing power from somewhere and he's like, well, what does this do? And it makes little beams of light which propel you, so you can hit the floor with them and it pushes you upwards. You can hit walls with them and you can make almost like a bridge.
Yeah.
that kind of
So
conveyor
like
belts
almost
you
like
across.
Portal when you're moving the platforms around. You know when you shine one
Yeah.
portal on a platform bridge to make a light
Yeah.
bridge. That sort of thing.
Very similar, yeah, but without it being really cool and funny.
All right. Okay.
I mean, the way this plays pissed me off to the point that I switched it off with disgust
Yeah,
after
sounds
kind
good.
of 5 minutes.
Sounds good. What sort of puzzles are you doing then?
You are navigating around preset screens, so you'll put down like a upward going bridge, and you can put down 2 at one time, and then turn midair and hit a wall
Okay.
to kind of push.
So you're
you across
literally
a
just
gap.
trying to get to an exit.
Yeah, there are
And it's
enemies.
just how you get there.
It generates kind of, you get vending machines almost that drop enemies onto the screen like little robot things with cars, and you can push those off of cliffs and stuff using your little beams. It's got weird floating cube things, so they look like blocks that you can climb on, and then they turn into enemies and chase you around and stuff.
It sounds alright. It sounds alright. It's like it's like a little puzzler.
Yeah, but it's frustrating how kind of very timed you have to be with absolutely everything because of the way that it handles.
Okay.
So I just found it too irritating to.
So it does seem
800
to be
points
sort of
for-
a similar sort of Portal vibe though with that.
Yeah,
And-
yeah. I mean, the timing is very, very tight in this.
Yeah.
And you're right, Portal, your timing has to be tight, but it feels responsive, where this doesn't feel responsive.
Yeah, sure.
So it doesn't feel like it's really that fair in comparison.
Why is it called Pid?
I don't know. I imagine that's something to do with the plot, but it doesn't really explain any of the plot in the demo.
Yeah.
I don't know if it has larger presentation at the beginning of the full version of the game.
There's not been any XBLA games for a little while. Been any good. Pool Nation came out.
Yeah.
Pool Nation, Joe.
There's been thin pickings for arcades over the past.
I suppose after Summer of Arcade, that's when summer's when you're going to get all your big ones, because when big games come out, like Microsoft aren't really pushing XBLA this week, are they?
There's no need.
Yeah, the later half of the year they just don't seem to do much. I swear, with the arcade games, it's just like big titles are out, you play with those, and we'll give you some more next year.
It's kind of fair enough. So when you're starving for big titles, that's where arcades.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? You just want to get people's money. People aren't buying Xbox Live Arcade games for people for Christmas.
No,
I think that's the big thing,
But occasionally, Microsoft points are given.
Yeah, that's true, but you can't. I don't know. Yeah, they are.
You can't direct where that money's going.
But they're bolt-ons, right? That's a bolt-on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't know. That's a good point.
Stocking for that. There you go. That's
although I'm pretty sure Microsoft probably get a pretty good slice of everything that's bought anyway. And certainly the money for the points in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay. I was checking out a game. I haven't played this game, but it's a game I really desperately want to play that I want to talk about called Hotline Miami. I showed you a video of it, Sean. And you've seen this, Joe.
I've seen the trailer for it.
It's a Steam game, and it looks absolutely mental. I mean, you've seen the trailer. The trailer's crazy.
It's like this guy wearing this like rabbit head, and he's got like the occasional mask in his hand covered in blood. He's got a knife. He's in an elevator. He's in the hallway. It makes no fucking sense, but looks awesomely insane.
It's brilliant. I mean, the presentation of everything is really good. It's got this sort of weird sort of 70s grindhouse sort of. I don't know, almost. It's weird. The presentation is weird, but looks phenomenal. All the menus and everything like that. The game itself is kind of like top-down GTA. If you think early GTA, like GTA 1, it's like that, but in a smaller environment. So you're not in a city, you're in a building, right? And then the sort of plot or genre of the whole thing as well, which comes across in the trailer, is it's just basically heat, right? It's just people in masks with guns killing other people in a building. That's pretty much it. The music's freaking amazing, like absolutely phenomenal. And it plays like GTA, top down, like I say, and you're just sneaking into buildings, and they're puzzles. Each floor of the building, it seems, is almost like a puzzle room, where you're just trying to progress through it and kill everyone that's in there. Yeah. But the weapons are really powerful, so it's not like GTA where you could get hit quite a few times before you're going to die and you had an energy bar. This is like Call of Duty style. If I get hit by a gun, I'm going down. And same for the enemies. So it can happen, it can flip in that same way that FTL, when we were playing that, could just on a dime turn around and screw you. Yeah. This can do that. And you just have to plan your way through a building.
Yeah, the video came across as very trial and error. So it's like you hit one room, you figure out how to take down the guy in that room, but the next room might have two guys in it. So you kind of have to figure out the way to take out the first guy and then not get shot by the second guy. The
thing I want to get across though as well, which I think is important from that, is that it's not the same every time.
No,
it changes up. So you can't learn it. You can't go right. You learn how to deal with situations rather than the situation itself. Because it's not always going to be that guy in the top, and that guy in the top might now have a knife, or he might have a machine gun one time. And also the weapons that you pick up, because you pick up knives and machine guns and baseball bats, they're all random as well. So it does fluctuate, but it seems to not just be every single time you play it, it's different. It seems to be like after you've played it for about 3 or 4 times, something subtle will change, which almost catch you out, which is kind of cool. So the way it works with combat is you're going around and you just walk up to people and melee them. If you've got a baseball bat, one hit will knock them down. Normally you won't kill them. You have to stand over them and then bash their heads in. Yeah. It's gory as hell, I should add. There's lots of lovely blood sprays everywhere. But you can also like open doors onto people to catch them by surprise. As they walk past the door on the other side, you bash through the door. That will knock them out. Or you can just gun down people.
And so you kind of need to be quite strategic in your execution.
Yeah, there's a lot of planning that goes into your run, and you can see quite a lot of the rooms.
Yeah.
You see it top down, you can see over into other rooms and plan where you're going. Yeah, it just looks wicked. It looks like a real great deal of fun. Like I say, it's out on Steam. You can buy it. It's not very much. I'm not sure. It's under £10, I think. And we'll have a better look at it, I think, because it's cool. It's really cool. You'd like it, Joe.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
It's got just the right amount of depth and depravity for you. So there we go. Well, should we do some Independence play?
We should
do some of that. All right, Independence Play. We've been playing some indie games this week, and we just thought we'd highlight some of the better ones with you guys to let you know what's out there that you may not have heard of. Sean, you've been mainly playing the indie games for us. What have you looked at this week?
Well, first off the bat is a game I mentioned last week, though didn't talk about last week, which was Demon House FPS.
Demon House FPS. Yeah, I've seen this. Actually,
Yeah.
I haven't played it. I just had a brief look at it. Xbox Live indie game, and it's a first-person shooter.
Yes.
Looks kind of Rise of the Triad like almost.
Yeah.
It's got that sort of 2D. They are 2D sprites. Are they?
No,
Oh,
they're not. They're
3D.
3D models.
All
yeah.
right. It looked fairly weak from the screens, but
I mean, for 80 Microsoft points, this game is relatively solid first-person shooter. I mean, the mechanics work well, the targeting works well. It seems to have a lot of... It borrows a bit from Doom in kind of level layout and collecting keys for doors and stuff. But also a lot from Bioshock in the way that the guns look. They're kind of like...
they're all kind of steampunky.
yeah,
right?
like
Yeah.
green glowing bits on there and stuff as
sure.
well.
Yeah, so it's more it's your Doom style shooter, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like a room full of enemies and you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
key cards.
sure. You're kind of fighting against skeletons. It's all like self-crafted character models and stuff. It's no stock stuff. And it looks kind of janky. It looks a lot like N64 graphics, but in high resolution for the
Right.
textures.
Okay. Yeah.
But the models are very angular and stuff. The skeleton guy especially.
Yeah. If you saw it run on a PS1, then you'd be like, "Oh, that fits," but also it looks like a really good PS1 game.
Sure, certainly. As I say, for 80 points, it's a bit of a laugh. It's a bit of a giggle. It does local play multiplayer as well, so you can have 4-player on that. It's all right. It's
Yeah.
inoffensive.
Well, it's not often you get like an FPS on
No,
that, like
it
a
is
fully
very
fledged
rare,
one.
yeah.
You know, that's kind of alright.
And your avatar is not in sight at all.
Yeah, that's also
It's
an
already
interesting
winning from the
sign.
beginning.
Yeah, everyone's Masterchiefs at the moment. So, all right, yeah, no, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I played an interesting game actually this week on Xbox Live Indie Games again as well, called Hypotenuse.
Yes, I've played.
Which
this.
this is kind of nuts. You might like this game, Joe. I bought it. It was 80 points. It looks like it's kind of like.
It's hard to explain. Really,
Yeah,
isn't
it is. You look like you're a piece of tofu.
with a
Okay,
katana.
With a katana. And you just stand around this little shrine in the middle. You imagine a 3D world with nothing in it, right? Just blank
Yeah, it's
beige.
like a desert,
blank
isn't
beige
it?
world. And there's a shrine in the middle of it that you can walk around and stuff. A Japanese-like shrine. And you're like a piece of tofu, essentially. Imagine that with a sword that just floats next to him and as though he's holding it. And then other pieces of tofu come and attack you. Look from every angle, 360 degrees, and you just slice them down. You just chop them, and you can throw ninja stars at them. Okay, and the more you kill, the gorier the kills get.
Right.
So you get to the point where you're just like slicing them, nothing happens, and then slowly the top half will just fall off of the thing's body, and you can see blood on the insides and stuff, and that's it. Nothing else happens.
No. Yeah, it's primarily the reason I didn't buy it.
It looks
'cause
really
It
Switch.
does.
I mean,
looks-
yeah,
the presentation is fantastic.
I was kind of disappointed because the demo is exactly that.
Yeah,
the demo
sure.
gives you all of it.
Well, it doesn't. It kind of says in the demo, if you buy the full game, then you get items to help you
Yeah,
kill
which is
more
just
things.
more ninja stars. That's all it is, because you have a limited number of ninja stars. But it looks really Swish. The
does.
style is kind of Cartoon Network like
Yeah.
almost. And it's kind of neat.
And the tofu's really well animated.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a slick little thing. I kind of liked it. I don't really understand where it's going or what's going on. And maybe if I play it more, there'll be more to it. But if you like tofu and you like chopping up other pieces of tofu that aren't tofu because they've got gore inside them, but that would be like a nasty surprise for anyone wanting tofu, right?
Especially for vegetarian.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It reminded me of the old Fairy Tale Fights demo.
Right.
I don't know if anyone played Fairy Tale Fights. Do you play Fairy Tale Fights?
I didn't know.
I played Fairy Tale Fights, but it was terrible on Xbox 360. And but the reason I got it was because the demo was fantastic. 'Cause the demo was this incredible art piece that wasn't in the game. It was the same sort of environment, just sort of the 3D environment with nothing in it. It was all white, looked like the Matrix before they loaded in anything.
The construct,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. And then enemies would just come running towards you from all angles, and you'd slice them up. And because it was Fairy Tale Fights, blood would just spray everywhere, and it would go on the walls and on the floor. And because it was all white, it just looked awesome, like it almost looked like Mad World.
Yeah.
And it was the best thing ever, and that was all the demo was.
That's-
Not really indicative of the game at all, and that bit wasn't in the game.
It sounds like they missed the trick by
Yeah.
not putting it in.
Exactly. So Hypotenuse kind of reminded me of that.
Sure.
And for 80 points, Yeah, I'm happy to give that man 80 points. What does he do with the points? Imagine if, as an independent developer, you didn't get money from these sales.
You just
you just got points.
Accumulated Microsoft
It's like
points.
great, yeah.
Another 80 Microsoft points for
And
me
they're
not
just
to be
giving
able
them
to buy food with.
They're just giving them away. They're just giving. That's what Microsoft should have done, right? They either spend them on Xbox Live Arcade games, or they're just giving them back to more indie people. Yeah, I'm not sure that's the case.
No.
Have you played anything else?
I have. I've played Red Invasion.
Red Invasion. I feel like I know about this one.
Defense.
Right, this is quite an old game if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
think.
probably.
It's almost got like a Command and Conquer looking
Yeah,
cover.
it
so-
looks very.
who's this by? Do you know who this
It's
by?
Milestone Studios.
It's Milestone. They do a lot of really good stuff.
Yeah, so Johnny, we spoke about
Johnny Carnage.
Johnny Carnage, yeah, and they've also got an American football Carnage game as well.
Right. Okay. They put out really really strong games.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
really polished games. They're really they look like they've just come out normally.
Yeah.
They don't look like huge budget games, but
No.
they look good. They look like a lot of iOS games.
Yeah, certainly.
And this is the Command and Conquer style tower defense game.
Yeah, I mean, it's nowhere near as advanced as CNC. You're not building bases or anything. You've got two sets of pylons. In the demo, I've not played the full version, but I think I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, I've played the demo.
It's pretty solid. So you've got the two pylons that then collect points from your downed enemies. So it works in the same way as kind of Iron Brigade, where you're collecting scrap from downed enemies, and then that allows you to build more turrets and upgrade your turrets that you've put in. The demo, obviously, I didn't even finish the level I was on. It was over the limit time for the
8 minutes.
Is it 8 minutes?
8 minutes.
I thought it was 5. It seems like 5.
Yeah.
Never seems enough.
Depends if you're having fun or not.
Yeah,
There's
I
some
guess.
games where it feels like it's 20.
You just have to switch it off.
Yeah.
But no, this is pretty solid. I think I'm going to buy it and be able to talk a bit more extensively.
It's good if you
about
don't have a tower defense game
Yeah.
in your collection. Everyone should have one because they're good to play every now and then,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
This is a pretty good game. It,
Yeah.
it does just feel like an iOS game. I'd be interested to know if there's any stuff on iOS by Milestone.
Yeah.
But they're definitely solid. You can go through their collection and just pick any of the games, and it's worth your 80 points.
Yeah, definitely.
They look pretty nice as well,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool. All right, yeah, that's worth a look. I did play this week actually on Xbox Live Indie Games. I played Angry Fish Halloween.
Okay, yeah, you hate it.
Yeah, I hate it because you said Angry Fish was the same as Angry Birds, and don't get me wrong, Angry Fish wants to be the same as Angry Birds.
Yeah, in
badly,
premise,
right?
sure.
The rip-off is pretty tight from that one.
From the title alone.
Yeah, but the physics of it and the way it controls just by using a controller mean it is not Angry Birds.
I think it's a lot more forgiving than Angry Birds.
Yeah, it's just not.
Things will topple.
It's not as
when you-
fun.
when
It's not
you-
as tactile and as responsive a thing. You know, when you're using your finger to just pull something back, that's good.
Sure.
And I lose a lot because of that.
But then you don't know how Angry Birds plays on an Xbox because you haven't played it.
No, true. But I imagine not as good.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't want to. But so yeah, Angry Fish Halloween was not impressed with that. It's the same as Angry Fish. Obviously, they've just put a Halloween skin on it.
Sure.
It's out there. It's 80 points. If you really need your Angry Birds fix, then you could go for it. But I don't recommend it. At all. All right. Well, let's. What game should people buy? People should buy a game. You've got money. You've got money. You've got 80 points. You want to give to a developer.
I would say before you kind of start looking at these titles, if you're gonna have to buy something, I'd say grab Dead Pixels.
Dead Pixels, yeah,
it's
Dead
a
Pixels.
solid game.
It is a good game.
And it's
You
got
played Dead Pixels, Joe?
I haven't,
shitload of
unfortunately,
modes
no.
in it, and it's the thing is, we didn't make Joe play Narc, did we?
Narc, no, we didn't do Narc and
But
Education Joe.
this has a very Narc feel to it. Dead
Yeah,
Pixels.
it's like that, and it feels a bit like River City Ransom as well in places with the stores that you can go in, and it's just side scrolling. It's a side scrolling beat 'em up with a shotgun.
Yeah.
With a zombie vibe to it. It looks cool. The style's kind of cool. It's kind of old. They almost look like Mega Man.
Again, it has the whole 70s intro feel.
Yeah, it's got a real sort of grindhouse sort of feel to it, which is really
Exploit-
nicely done.
exploitation, yeah.
And it never breaks the graphical style, which is this sort of like 8-bit Mega Man look for everything. And there's loads of different campaigns. It's got like Left 4 Dead style campaigns.
It's got loads of game modes.
It's wicked. I've noticed actually it is actually featured on the dashboard at the moment.
Oh, right.
On the indie channel, Dead Pixels. It's right there on the dashboard. Everyone should check it out. It's well worth it. Great game.
Yes.
Really great game. 4-player co-op.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Give it a go, Joe.
I will do, yes.
Excellent. All right. That's Independence Play. Okay, we are back, and it's about that time where we gotta go get some Halo.
Go get some food. Go get hyped.
No, go just get some Halo. I'm skipping the hype and the
you're
food.
just going queuing now.
Yeah. I don't want to queue. Midnight launches, you shouldn't have to queue.
if you're going now, you probably won't be queuing. You
That's
probably
true.
be
I'll just be waiting.
The guy, they'll try to kick you out of the shopping centre. It's like, we're closing the shopping centre for like 4 hours.
Fair enough.
Just get a chair, sit outside, wrap yourself up warm, take a thermos.
Oh, I don't want to be one of those guys, man. I don't want to be one of those guys. All right, so yeah, we're going to go and get some Halo. Slightly shorter episode this week because of Halo, but next week probably a slightly longer episode because of Halo again. So a lot of chat to come from that next week. There's some other stuff coming out as well. What's coming out? Does anything come out this week against Halo?
I really don't know. I'm sure there is, but my mind's not working.
No, okay.
Pass.
No, it just...
Hitman's a couple of weeks.
Hitman's soon, yeah. Black Ops as well is obviously next week.
Yeah.
So
it is...
I think Halo's...
big time.
It's Halo's week.
You don't get in the way of Halo,
I
do you?
wouldn't.
No, exactly.
Personally.
All right, so we're going to play that a lot, as well as some other stuff. We will see you in 7 days' time. In the meantime, you can always email us at thingsweplay@gmail.com, or you can tweet us on Twitter at thingsweplay. And go and check out the website, www.thingsweplay.net, for lots of awesome stuff that sometimes goes up there. Yeah, that's cool. We will see you in 7 days' time. Oh, I do want to point out, new theme tune. Didn't mention who it was last time. It's Anna Managuchi again, and this is track's called Airbrushed. It's wicked.
Good.
Yeah.
It's cool. So
Do love them.
hats off to those guys, exactly. Yeah, we'll see you in 7 days' time.
Take it easy.
Goodbye.